The National Institutes of Health states that college students are one of the most sleep-deprived populations around. Now, obvious question is, okay, so what do we do? There are several things to avoid to try to get a good night's rest. How this can impact a person's mental and physical health, and how this can affect a person's safety and the safeties around them and the others around them. Things to avoid for when getting a good night's sleep. Some are obvious, and others are like, never thought of that one. One thing is to avoid caffeine after 3 p.m. Now, why would you be drinking coffee at night? I don't know. Unless you got a night job. Okay, now that I think about it, I drink sodas like it's water, so that one can fall on me too. Now, I don't know how everyone else might personally try to fall asleep, but I like to read myself to sleep. Most of my books are electronically on my Kindle, which is my best friend. What I found out is that you are supposed to avoid technology 30 minutes before bed. I know, crazy. Things not looking at your cell phone for 10-minute intervals. A little hard. Now, as insane as that last idea might be about the cell phones and electronic devices thing, have you ever given the thought of actually getting sunlight during the daytime and not at all during the night? How does that work out? I really have no clue, but I have realized that when I do walk outside from work on my breaks and lunches, I feel a little bit better and more energized to get through it. Knowing after lunch I only have like 4 hours of work left. That could be fun. Then the one major thing that I struggle with, next to sleep itself, exercise. I don't have that time to exercise, so I don't tend to it. Exercise tends to actually wake up the body. Actually, when you start working out, you can actually start like getting pumped and energized to get through the rest of the day. Now, of course, since it makes you energized, don't do it before you go to bed. Don't do it at night is a big thing. Now, I mentioned college students are the most sleep-deprived populations out there. Well, I don't know about you, but I pull all-nighters, hence why this thing is probably coming in at this time. With my all-nighters, I tend to take naps. It's recommended you don't take naps, which never thought of that before. Taking naps is one of my favorite things to do during the day. Who doesn't like it? He just doesn't like a good nap for no reason whatsoever. Think about it. Most of us are not getting the recommended hours of sleep. I know for me, I am lucky to get 5 hours sleep in the day, much less the 8 hours. That is called sleep deprivation. Oxford English Dictionary says that sleep deprivation is a situation or conditions of suffering from lack of sleep. Okay, simple enough. You don't get enough sleep, you get lack of sleep. Well, okay, some of us might lose big deal, but hey, big deal, right? It's all fine. We're all good. Wrong. Sleep is important. It's vital for good health, mentality, exercise, attitude. Without a good sleep, a person can have problems controlling emotions, mood swings. I do those. Behavior or solving problems. Okay, that's just me on a daily basis with or without the sleep. In some cases, sleep deprivation can lead to risk-taking behaviors and depression. Also, in some cases, suicides. It is what it is, I guess. On top of sleep deficiency can do one's mentality, it can just do as much as the physical. Sleep is one of the best ways for your body to repair the heart and blood vessels. And when sleep deficiency is an ongoing thing, it can lead to heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. Right, obesity is one of the health factors. The reason obesity can be a health factor is because sleep regulates two hormones that revolve around hunger. Ghrelin, one that makes you feel hungry, and leptin, the one that makes you feel full. When a person doesn't get enough sleep, ghrelin goes up, leptin goes down. Hence why probably more people eat when they're sleep deprived. Now, we said about hunger, sleep just doesn't take care of those two factors. It also helps with growing, hence why most Studies show that children and teens are meant to get those 8 to 9 hours of sleep a day because it helps release the growing hormones when they get into that deep sleep. And that's what helps them grow into what they're supposed to be. Insulin. Now, most people probably know, but insulin helps control your sugar levels, hence blood rate and blood sugar. The lack of sleep, the higher your sugar intake is, hence the hunger and eating more and more and more. Then the immunity system. Now, we all know our immune systems work 24/7 nonstop. But if you wear it out just as much as the heart and the blood vessels thing, if you wear them out long enough, tends to be like some people would get sick easily and wouldn't know how to fight it, and it might take days or weeks to get over it. I just got over a horrible stomach virus, which I've never gotten before. I don't know how that happened. Sorry. Now, like we said, think about it. Sleep is meant for the body to rejuvenate. It's to help build your body, your mind, and your spirit so it can get that rest and get ready for a brand new day if you work during the day. Some of the examples of how sleep deficiency can affect, some of those examples were how they can affect you personally. Your health, your sleeping habits, your attitudes, your mentality, your everything. But it doesn't stop there. Sleep deficiency can also affect the safeties of you and others. Now, I know at some point of time when we don't get enough sleep, or lack of a better word, we're slower. Rather than this reaction time of taking longer to finish simple tasks, and I tend to make more mistakes when I don't get enough sleep. I don't know how I still have my job. But what really scares me is that this thing called microsleep. Yes, this is a thing. Microsleep is a brief moment of sleep that occurs while someone is awake. Now, before you say that is the same as daydreaming, there is a difference. Daydreaming is when someone occupies their thoughts with something else to distract them from the present. Yeah, I do that constantly. Microsleep lasts for a very short time. Some people say it's about 10 seconds, sometimes more. Relatively very short, and you can't remember what happened in between that time span. For example, let's say you were driving to a location, let's say the gas station down the street. Okay, you haven't been sleeping well very often. It's like 10 o'clock at night. You need to fill up your tank to get ready for tomorrow. So as you're driving, let's say there's about 4 red lights. Just 4 lights. You don't know if they're red, green, or yellow yet. As you're driving, you black out. Or what you sense is a blackout because all of a sudden you're at the gas station. You went through 4 lights without even knowing without actually remembering what they were. Those lights could have been red. You could have ran them. You didn't know. Thank God you didn't, because that can lead to accidents. Hence why sleep is such important. If it can affect your daily use of driving, just driving. Something that everyone has to do at some point in time to get to a location. 10 seconds is a long time. That can actually lead to accidents, wrecks, and hopefully nothing worse than that if that's the case. It is one thing to risk yourself, but it's another to risk others around you. That's all it takes. Just 10 seconds. So altogether, sleep is important, hands down. There are some tips on what to avoid before going to bed, how sleep deficiency can affect a person's mental and physical health, and how it can affect a person's safety and the safety of others around them. So with all that said and done, I think I'm going to follow some of the tips I just said. I can get my mind, my body, and my spirit ready for tomorrow. Good night and rest well, guys.